still. So
It's
I
why
kind
it's
of
a
agree
ballot
with that.
measure, Bill, because no politician, even if they thought it was a good idea. Oh my God. Yeah. As I was saying.
Hello everyone, my name is Kimathi Tevin and welcome to the Fourth World Show, where we talk about controversial issues affecting society, and therefore you might want to consider who's in the room with you. So marijuana, weed, cannabis, ndom, pot, it goes by a number of names. Cannabis is a plant which is generally legal, which is used as a psychoactive drug for either recreational or medical purposes. To legalize or not to legalize is the debate. And to help us tackle this, we now turn to a panel of experts. Karibuni.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I'm a PhD holder, doctor, professor, and I've also written numerous books about these dangers of marijuana.
Yeah.
And I've also studied physical psychology. So I'm Dr. Kau.
Okay, thank you very Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Okay, my name's Iris Spencer, a parent of 3. Yeah. And I regret so much that some of us here are supporting the legalization of marijuana, which has caused me misery. One day, my eldest son and the second born made a cake of pot and dragged the whole family. Yeah. It was chaotic. So I don't really support this
We
thing.
will get into details on that story. What about you, sir?
Thank you. I go by Benedict Mondi, and I'm a nominated member of parliament, and also I'm an activist for the legalization of marijuana, of course, and I have a bill that's present for its legalization. Yeah, thank you for having me.
I am Jeremy Muthoga. I am a media student, I'm a writer, I'm a recreational weed user. I have a podcast show I get to hold and talk to many different artists, and I'm here to support the legalization of weed. Thank you.
We're going to kick off the conversation with some fun little trivia. On the screen displaying a couple of statements on cannabis. Well, we'll give you our answers as we continue on with the show. So to kick off, you have to agree with me that one of the greatest most discussed agenda on cannabis is its effects to one's well-being.
Yeah.
So if we could kindly start off with what are some of the effects of cannabis to one's health?
Oh, effects of cannabis.
Yeah.
Number one, we have a memory loss. And we have also some psychological causes. No, we have number one, aggressiveness. We have hallucinations. We also have some of the things which are called, in teenagers, they form a habit of suicidal. They just want to do suicide. And with memory loss, you unaweza tuma mtu wa cannabis, like 5 minutes ago niliteka kikombe. Then anakuja anakuambia, what were you saying? Also, he can meet or she can meet mama yake kwa barabara. And the mother thinks anakuja kuambiwa kitu ya maana. So akikuja kuambiwa, so and the smoker anamwambia, oh, you look familiar. You are the girl who cooks in our home.
Daktari, are you sure those are not just stories?
No, they are not stories.
Bwana moderator, kidogo.
Yeah.
Daktari,
Yes.
I use weed and I don't suffer from memory loss. And furthermore, the fact about suicide, it's just simple. If you're predisposed to it, weed is just like, it's just there. If you have like the predisposed function, you'll still commit suicide nonetheless. There are people who have committed suicide and had zero use of weed. So technically, I don't think your facts are right.
They are.
Well, do you have anything to add?
Yes, I have. Because you see those people who smoke regular, they are the subject to using hard drugs like methamphetamine. Yes, this meth.
Meth.
Yes. And also, they can inhibit some characters.
What kind of characters?
The kind of characters, it's a hard drug, so it's expensive to maintain. There are some characters like theft,
So,
robbery.
okay, ma'am, what do you have to say?
I have to say that this marijuana causes underlying mental disorders. So it triggers. That's why if my son had not used the weed, saizi hangekuwa Mathare akisuffer for mental disorders sababu he was well before he started using this weed. Second, it affects fetal development in women. As you know, some children are born with some disabilities that are caused by the misuse of
Marijuana.
weed.
Yeah.
So you get a baby born with a shorter leg than the other, and they keep blaming themselves and blaming God too for their disability, of which they're supposed to blame their parents for using weed, and men for always using, because the X gene is the one that brings in those disorders.
Yes, it's dominant. It's dominant.
Yes, yeah. And also the last one, it causes
Euphoria.
it causes lung cancer. Yeah,
cancer.
smoking is harmful to the lungs. That's
Yes.
why it causes cancer, and hence leading for patients to suffer from any death. You know, like having cancer is like a death sentence. You
Yes.
cannot treat cancer.
Yes,
It's a
to
death-
support her.
Yeah.
To support her. Yes, no, wait, I'm a doctor, so keep
Ah,
calm. You see, marijuana has 42 chemicals, also which are found in tobacco. So, and they're carcinogenic. So you cannot say that.
But tobacco, 42 chemicals, but
42
tobacco is
chemicals.
legalized in this country.
Not wrong.
Yes, so
It's legalized.
why don't we legalize weed?
Weed, it should not.
42 chemicals, 42 chemicals.
No,
Yeah.
for
Can I address-
tobacco it
can
has
I address
like
the problem?
102. And for marijuana it's
If I could
42.
just cut you short and Mheshimiwa, what do you have to say about
Okay,
it?
first I'll have to highlight something. We should know as human beings, you're subjects of choice. So, if you're pregnant, then why the hell will you go ahead and use marijuana if you know it's going to be harmful
It's
for you?
because it's addictive.
Okay, it's
That's
addictive.
because it's
Yes,
addictive.
but
And you cannot stop using it even though you know you're pregnant.
Okay,
Yay.
let's go. Yeah, but also there's the fact of it that it has advantages to its usage still. We can't ignore that. Like for example, we know marijuana helps with anxiety.
No.
And also for cancer that she's talked about, it's a chronic illness and victims of cancer are subject to pain all the time. Talking from experience, I know somebody. And since they suffer from pain, there's this aspect of them begging to be drawn out of the pain by euthanasia, like mercy killing. But instead of going through that route, we can instead help them with the marijuana that will help them to relieve the pain and help the patients get better. Marijuana helps with PTSD for the veterans and from people who have past traumatic experiences, insomnia. There's so many benefits of marijuana, so we should stop being narrow-minded and blaming marijuana for everything. There's a bigger picture than just the issues that
Okay.
Just a
You
minute. Well,
just
thank you
said-
just a minute, ma'am. Thank you very much for that. But
I agree with Mheshimiwa over here because it's simple. Marijuana has THC. THC, when taken, when induced, it causes the pain receptors in the brain not to communicate well with the brain. So, for example, if I have cancer, and cancer normally is a terminal illness, and I'll feel pain. Yeah, me using marijuana means that it will stop the information from getting to the brain that I'm actually in pain. So one, it helps me. Two, I as a user, it helps me it helps me create ideas that actually I'm able to write. That's one. Two, it helps, as Mheshimiwa said, it helps with anxiety.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not wrong, Daktari said something about it. The users of marijuana are aggressive. Actually, in real sense, marijuana helps to reduce aggressive because
No.
people who suffer from
No.
PTSD, people who suffer from PTSD are normally very aggressive. If I could say
just
so.
wind up on your
Okay,
statement.
so in short, what I'm trying to say is marijuana is good. It has many health benefits, and I feel like the two panelists are very narrow-minded. They don't want to see the full picture of it.
Now
Do you have
that one,
any-
that is now the causes or that is induced by marijuana.
What exactly? What exactly is induced by marijuana?
The way he's talking,
How could
everything.
I'll expound that kindly.
He's saying that that we are narrow-minded. Do you know,
So
my
that's
friend, I've
what
read
he's
so many
thinking.
books than you.
Okay, that's the problem with you people. You're coming from a perspective of being selfish. You're talking about the effects of marijuana because it's affected your son, but there's so many people outside here. You're supposed to think about its effect on everyone in general. And the sick people here, the people with so many issues. And I feel like your son had a choice to make. And
Yeah.
with legalization of marijuana, we can put in laws to maybe say limit to a 25-year age, where somebody is sound in mind. You make
Wow,
a choice.
thank
If it's
you-
bad,
Thank you very much
yeah.
for that. And well, I also know that marijuana, we have canna oil as a product of marijuana, which is used to treat skin diseases. So, well, thank you very much for that first segment. And we also took the conversation to the street, and this is what the people had to say.
You've never tried, but give a guess. How many mangoes? 2 mangoes.
7.
7 mangoes.
Yes.
Yes?
5 mangoes? I don't know.
You're actually right.
Wow.
The number is
Five mangoes.
Black.
black. Why would you say black?
Black is evil. Then I'm not really sure about
Black.
Rough guess.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna see black.
you can say black.
Red?
Why red?
I don't know. Just seems like red would be the color.
Would you try it if you were a consumer of marijuana? So you are not. Okay.
When is the question to water?
You are doing really well. That's good enough. Thank you.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and I will go directly back to our conversation. Mheshimiwa, if you could let us talk about the effects of marijuana to the economy.
Thank you. First, I'd like to lay out a point about how it's saving money
Yeah.
through the decongestions of prison.
If you could kindly expand on that.
Okay, so there was a memo that was written to the Senate Committee of Justice Affairs and Human Rights about, I'll give an example, the industrial area prison, which was built during the pre-colonial rule period. It was built to hold a capacity of 1,288 people, but as far right now, the number of inmates in the prison are 2,800, which is double its actual capacity. And so touring the place to affirm what was written in the memo, it was found to be true. And you know, despite them being crime offenders, they're also protected by rights, and they're supposed to be in an environment that's still conducive for them. And we discovered that most of these inmates are people that were taken in because of petty crimes that are committed, and including them is the arresting of the youth who take part of having marijuana. So most of them, which is a petty crime, they're taken in, and the prisons are peeling out. The people are living in an environment that's not safe for them. So I feel like if it was legalized, we wouldn't be having this issue. We wouldn't be talking about dumping people in prisons anyhowly. And also coming to that, if we observe the few quickly growing countries like the United Kingdom and United States of America, they're apparently earning revenue from marijuana itself, tracing back to about $1 billion to the economy.
You, not all states in the US have.
Exactly.
Not all of them, but still, it's bringing revenue to the country, and that's what matters. Yeah, we suffer from so many, like we don't have enough funds to pump into our economy, and then bringing that and using it, we can actually be able to gain that, and it's going to lead to things like job creations and gaining money to the government.
Maybe to add a point or two, you see, if, for example, if weed is legalized, then it means that one will be able to, it will save us on, in terms of, you see, weed, the tree, I'd say the tree can be used as to manufacture paper, and it actually grows at a very fast rate as compared to the other trees that actually are used for making paper. So it will save us in terms of, as in the long run, we'll be able to cut less trees and we'll be able to be at a better place. Yes.
So you're saying let us legalize marijuana so that we could make papers from the marijuana trees. We could decongest prisons. What? Dr.
Yes.
Yes. What?
Thank you so much. I want to disagree with my learned friend here, Mheshimiwa.
Yeah.
And Mheshimiwa, do you know that in those prisons, I've been there, and also I'm part and parcel of them. And
parcel of them as a smoker of weed, as a
no.
Are you a prisoner?
As a counselor.
Wow.
Yes, as a counselor. And I go there to also in terms of food. I'm there to see if they are getting right food and medication.
Yeah.
And it's true, they get the right one. And with that, you've said that we are dumping them. We are not dumping them.
But you mentioned that they are overpopulated.
They are not overpopulated.
Well, if it's
and now, do you know in that environment they are in, they can stay for 101 years.
No problem, but what's the capacity once again?
2,000, and it was initially built to hold 1,200 people, so that's...
Yeah.
But have you ever been into one of the prisons?
I'm talking because the memo was sent to the Senate office, and they had to affirm it, and they toured the place to be able to verify.
But the place is being built and expanded, isn't it? You don't know because you are not there.
Okay.
And for the writer,
yes,
I think for you, will I use this name? But I'm so sorry. You are so dumb. That you do trees instead of planting marijuana trees, we can plant trees like apples, mangoes, avocados. We can eat, and they will bring. They are healthy to us.
It takes less time compared to
exactly.
Other trees.
What time does it take?
It takes 4 to 6 months, and I'm sure if, let's say, for example, if you use your example of planting trees like mangoes, even if we use like grafting seedlings, yeah, it will take, I'd say, a year and a half.
No.
Yes.
It takes 8 months to 1 year
Still.
for it to grow.
Still, 4 to 6
And,
months. You can't compare. You can't compare.
No, I've been to Jamaica and I've seen them. They take, I guess, 9 months once they can be harvested.
I just said 4
they
to
take
6.
the same time as
4
rice.
to 6.
Do you see rice? It takes the same time for marijuana and rice. Yeah. The same time. And have you seen barley or wheat?
Yeah.
It's the same. They just look the same. Marijuana and wheat, the tree. So how can you go and shade yourself from a wheat plant?
Well, Doctor, if I could kind of make the question more direct to you.
Yes.
What are the disadvantages of legalizing marijuana to a country's economy?
To a country's economy?
Yes.
Number one, as I said earlier, we have the youths. They become reckless. And some of them, they start losing the momentum to do work. Yes, and also the economy will depreciate, totally depreciate.
I'll get back to you about that, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, for me, I'll have to say it's a bit of inaitwaje, si daktari unikumbushe hiyo. These people they start stealing from the economy. You know, it's an expensive habit to maintain. Yeah, wacha nikwambie boss. Unaona, oh, you are the boss, he's the student. Unaona hii weed yenye mnasema sijui eti you use it regularly. If you don't have a job, how can you maintain? How can you manage to purchase it? If you don't have anything, you will just have to go into the streets and steal from people, or steal from your own parents.
That is why
that's what my son did.
No, that is why
alikuwa ananiibia, nimeenda kuuza pale, anakuja kwa nyumba anaiba pesa.
That is why
hata kibeti hata watoto hawakuli usiku.
That is why we are arguing and we are saying that weed should be
legalized. You should not.
Because no, just listen. It creates jobs for these youths that are busy stealing from people.
Exactly.
How will it create jobs?
If we legalize weed,
mtoto wa class 6 akiacha shule anaenda kuuza weed. You see, hivyo ndivyo mnataka serikali. Si hivyo ndivyo mnataka kusaidika.
We talked about
mtoto aache shule aende kuuza.
If I could cut you short, going to go on a short break, and when we come back we'll continue with this conversation. As you can see, it's getting hot in the studio. Well, see you in a while.
Hot and hot, yes.
Welcome back to the Fourth World Show, where we talk about controversial issues affecting the society. So, I'll start with you, ma'am. What do you think are some of the effects of marijuana to the society and to an individual as well?
First of all, it's time consuming for somebody to sit down and think of using weed and smoke that whole
how long do you think it takes to smoke a blunt?
Hey, to smoke a blunt, I guess it's just an hour.
An hour.
30 minutes or an hour. I'm not yet done, please. Don't cut me short. Yeah. So, then, secondly, it causes impaired judgment. It's so judgmental that a person becomes so judgmental that he can't see the mistakes he's doing or she is doing, but he considers the mistakes of the rest. For example, my son, alikuwa anakuja home, mom hujapika, mom niko njaa, mom niko na nini, and I'm like, wow, sasa huyu kijana yangu nitamsaidia aje? Shule yenyewe amekataa na ndiye ameingia tu class.
As a result of smoking.
As a result of smoking that, and also changes the eating habits. Yeah. Sometimes a person tends to eat so much or so little. Yani mpaka sometimes nilikuwa naona guy, huyu kijana yangu si atakufa njaa sababu hakuli ile totally no eating.
But that's kind
anakuja nimempikia, anasema anapikiwa chapati. Anasema nimpikie chapati. The next minute he's in.
But I guess your son was that was a rare condition.
Yoyo thing, anajifanya kiyoyo and man, So bad.
Do you have?
On a moderator, I think there are a few points I'd like to help our dear mother understand. I don't know the type of joint your son or you've seen that would take 30 minutes to smoke.
Me, I
On
don't
average,
know. I've never
listen,
smoked.
okay,
How can I know the
okay,
time? I was
let-
told to assume,
and
and I presume.
let me educate you, yeah? It would take, I'd say, roughly 10 or so minutes, actually 10 or so minutes, yeah, to smoke a whole joint. How many minutes do you spend mkisengenyana ama mkiwa wewe na mama zako umeenda huko chini umetoka kuosha nguo and you're speaking with your other mamas about what is happening in your area?
Mimi, I don't gossip. For your
you lie.
information, mama, no gossip.
Fine. But I'd say that in your day, can you account for 24 hours of your day?
Yeah, I can.
Do you actually, so you can say that in the whole 24 hours you don't waste time like 5 or 10 minutes.
No, maybe watching movies,
but that's exactly, you see.
But not going there kusengenyana, not going outside there to smoke weed. But staying in the house and maintaining myself and waiting for my husband to come back from job. Wakati nyinyi ndio wa vijana mnataka kuharibu hii nchi.
Lakini just a minute. If we could hear from you, Daktari.
Yes.
What are the effects of marijuana to the lifestyle, to our lifestyle and society?
You see, I'm a Christian by heart and by soul and by mind.
Are you?
And in our church and in most churches, youth wamepotea.
Hallelujah.
Because of this drug. And also it impairs
drugs, specifically marijuana?
Not only that, but the other drugs, but mostly is marijuana because it's commonly used. It has been ranked as the first most used drugs around the country. And also it impairs judgment in the form of, it's a drug like alcohol. And alcohol, as we know, you cannot drink alcohol and operate machinery.
And alcohol is legal, right?
It's a drug.
But
Exactly.
is it legal?
It's a drug.
Is it legal?
But it's not legal to people under the age of 18.
Exactly. Do the same
It's
for
illegal for the
weed.
No, weed
Do the
is
same for weed.
It's illegal for people under the age of 120 years. Now, you see, you cannot drive or operate machinery when you're smoking or when you've smoked because it will impair what you see. And also, it has bloodshot eyes. And as Madam has said here, that one feels to eat munches. Yes, that's also evident. Another, what do you want to say?
Allow me to cut you a bit. No, allow me to cut you a bit. You see,
Can I load my point? Yeah. Okay, normally when you talk about lifestyle, it regards things to do with having fun in general.
No.
So picture this, using an actual drug that you can have fun with it and it actually has medicinal benefits at the end of it. And first, I'd like to point this issue out that I don't understand why you guys are not begging for legalization, because at the end of the day, whether you want it to be legal or not, we'll still operate in the country.
Yeah.
And it comes to this situation where the people that suffer for illegalization of weed are the youth in the societies, because they'll bring the weed and they go peddle to the admirals and the nobles in the society. They put that hold big parties at the end of the day. So when they're arrested, the people that actually use them in large scale, they'll be sitting behind the gated communities laughing and being high, while the people that actually give the weed to them are taken to prison. So when you guys have it legalized, they're going to be laws and they'll be freely, people will be able to buy.
No, do you know
and
that?
so, yeah, and also coming to the point where you talked about weed causing things like loss of appetite. Apparently, weed itself as a drug it's an appetite enhancer, and it's used for mostly people with chronic illnesses like AIDS. People with AIDS normally they're nauseated, so they can't take in food. But when they're given marijuana itself in a medicinal way, they can be able to take up food and eat, because we need food. We can't survive without food.
No, I've got his point because I've got his point because do you know that they have got a slogan which says that you don't drink and drive but smoke and fly.
Okay,
that is
if you could make a last
that is
statement.
euphoria of paramenophensiasis.
Doctor, make a last statement.
My last statement is weed or marijuana or pot or whatever should not be legalized.
I support him so much.
Any last words?
Any last words?
Yeah.
These people should come and join us.
Thank you very much.
And in this campaign, we should, you leaders, we expect you to lead the country
to the right direction.
Yes.
But you still misleading the country. Badala ya kujenga barabara na kununua gari za transport, nyinyi munanunua weed smoke.
We should not legalize weed.
It should never be legalized.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa.
My last points are that...
Just 5 seconds?
Yeah, 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Weed is good, and I'm actually one of the most hardworking government officials as we speak. And, your perception of people that use weed to be raggedy and shit. Look at this guy. He's an artist. He's smart. He looks well dressed.
What about his hair?
You should cancel your perception. People can actually use weed and look smart and people that act.
It is part of my act.
Exactly. Last
one.
Last
one. Yeah. Okay, I just have a question for Bwana.
I don't know questions.
That is my. You see, you say that your people ukienda kwa kanisa watoto wenyewe wamepotea. Then it means you have failed, not weed. Amjoajenga vizuri, but to wrap it up, I think weed should be legalized to actually help these people actually tame their children.
Okay, so thank you very much. I want to thank every one of you. It's been a fascinating conversation, and let's keep it going on our social media pages. Well, before we wrap this show, we will give you the answers for the trivia that was earlier while we started the show. We've come to the end of our show. Thank you so much for keeping it a Fourth World Show. But let's keep the conversation going on all our social media platforms. Thank you and goodbye. See you next time.